Angry guy here, and men are afraid that their wives will hashtag me to them. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, please help get this channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Now let's begin. Men are afraid that their wives will hashtag me to them. So this is actually not clickbait, because some of y'all like to complain. This is titled, "My husband won't initiate physical intimacy ever since the hashtag MeToo era." This is a very recent article. It was published on January 11th, 2024. It actually comes from the Washington Post, which is pretty. So this is actually a extremely accredited newspaper, regardless if you believe in the mainstream media or not. And it says, "Dear Amy, ever since the hashtag MeToo era, my husband does not initiate physical intimacy. We've talked about this. He says that doing so could be constructed or construed as harassment. He doesn't talk about physical intimacy or make innuendos. He no longer tells jokes. He says that it's because they could be of a bad nature, and he doesn't want to be demeaning to women. When I do want physical intimacy, he is quite accommodating, though I have to explicitly tell him what I like, but he never tells me what he likes because he says if he says something, it may be taken the wrong way." This is not a marriage, guys. This is not a marriage whatsoever. "He no longer compliments me or any other man or woman on how they look or dress, which used to be quite forthcoming. He says he doesn't want to be judgmental. Other than that, we have a good relationship. He drinks only an occasional beer, and we have great discussions about what's going on in the world, except for things that concern physical intimacy, such as any LGBTQ plus issues or fashion. He does complain. If he does complain, it's about something he could have done better. He's in great shape and is easy on the eyes. But I miss the easy, loving, uninhibited physical life, physically intimate life we used to share. My husband says he's sorry that he can't be a part of that because times have changed and that his previous behavior is not acceptable for a man anymore. Any suggestions, sad wife?" So, sad wife, I must admit to being a bit baffled by your question. There are many aspects to your account that make your husband's behavior toward you seem deliberately hostile, punitive, and extremely passive aggressive. Or he is someone who has sincerely misunderstood the lesson of the hashtag MeToo movement and is so afraid of being punished that he has decided to completely shut off a side of his own personality and take your intimate relationship with it. My own instinct is with the former. Your husband seems to be engaging in a sort of guerrilla backlash against the hashtag MeToo movement, which was never about loving, consensual relationships between spouses, telling jokes, or discussing fashion or LGBTQ plus issues. If my instinct is correct, and I could be wrong, he is craftily inflating and co-opting hashtag MeToo standards to cover his actual motivation, which is to punish you and perhaps women in general. You might ask him whether he has engaged in any online or in-person groups that have influenced his perspective and behavior. Alternatively, because your husband seems to be so anxious about possibly offending you or others, presumably without a history of having done so, it would be a great idea for you two to sit down with a marriage counselor. He might prefer talking to a man to address his anxiety. The goal should be for him to regain a sense of comfort regarding his own right to be himself. Now, guys, this is pretty much interesting. So look at this. This woman is now saying that because this man is trying to be completely respectful and not get in any trouble or say anything that could be offensive, and taken the wrong way, he is being aggressive, passive aggressive, and they should go and involve a marriage counselor. Just to let you know, I love this advice because a marriage counselor is the first step towards a divorce. Whenever people go to a marriage counselor, that is how you end the divorce. That's how you end the marriage. Going to a marriage counselor. We all know that. Marriage counselors will tell you, don't go see a marriage counselor. Okay? That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. All right? A lot of therapists will tell you right off the bat, do not see a marriage counselor. If you want your marriage to come to an end, do not see a marriage counselor. Like, that's how serious it is. It is not somewhere you want to go. It's not, that's not the ground that you want to walk on. And it's so amazing because these, no, you cannot make them happy. And as we can see here, this is a passport bro in the making. This is a MWA in the making. This guy is no longer comfortable with his wife. She basically said that if he asks for physical intimacy, he will do whatever she asks for. He's very good looking. He basically services her like a wife would service a husband. He's providing for her and giving her everything that she could want, but he's no longer saying or doing anything that could create any issues or lead to any problems for him. So he's basically not providing any real vulnerability in the relationship anymore. He's not being it's no longer comfortable. And this is what modern women have created. So it's like they want it both ways. And it's so insane. Like, guys, do you see how they quickly punish men? When men basically say that, okay, we're going to be obedient, we'll do exactly what we're supposed to do. We don't want to say anything that's going to offend you. We'll give you everything and anything you want. They get pissed off. They get pissed off because it's no longer a relationship. You're basically just in a relationship with a robot. Her husband is very good looking. He's in great shape, and he's basically giving her everything she wants, and she's angry because she realizes that this is not a relationship. It's all one-sided. And at some point, he may very well just walk away. The only reason why he may not have walked away yet is because of the cost of a divorce. Divorce is expensive. So he's basically just trying to do whatever he can to bear his time, to bode his time until he can get out of the marriage. Women did this. They created this environment. They created this environment where men are afraid to express themselves. Men are afraid to be vulnerable. Men are afraid to make jokes. You have women that have begun MeTooing their friends, men who helped them, men who built their careers for them. They're destroying their lives. They're destroying their careers because now these women are in their 60s and 70s, and they no longer have money coming in. They no longer have influence, and they're like, okay, to hell's with it. I'm going to go after the people who helped build me up. It doesn't matter, and I'll do whatever I can to get this money. And it's so funny because right now inflation is running rampant, and these women who are doing these terrible things, the guys who helped create their careers, they're not going to have anyone. Women do not realize they have no friends right now. And this woman who wrote the article, she doesn't seem to, she could probably smell it, that this is not a marriage. This is not a marriage at all. This guy is basically just trying to say he's trying to do anything and everything to keep his wife happy, and and basically not run into any issues with her, so that eventually he may just creep out of the marriage. He'll file for divorce and disappear on her. Like, this is how it is with men right now. Men are so afraid of expressing themselves, even in relationships with their wives. He breaks up with her, and imagine she goes on social media and starts talking about their life and physical intimacy, and what he did in the marriage and what he didn't do in the marriage. And guys, it's terrible. It's terrible. Men are sick and tired of the nonsense, of the games. Men are tired of it all. And women are responsible for this. Women created this reality, and they're going to have to live with it now. And that's the irony. Women cannot live with the reality that they created for themselves. They cannot live with what they've done. And it's like they don't seem to understand. There's no going back. I mean, Me Too Part 2 is just in the pre-game show right now. And I told you guys, as they get more desperate, at times get more difficult, you're going to see more and more women rushing to M2 their friends, boyfriends, former boyfriends, husbands or ex-husbands. It's gonna, guys, everyone's gonna get it. Everyone's gonna get it. The guy that works at McDonald's, the guy that works at Starbucks, the janitor, the mailman, everybody is gonna get it. They're gonna go for everyone because they are desperate for survival right now. They're desperate to get their bag. All right, this is the truth. There are going to be a lot of people, a lot of women who are going to be perpetual, continuous MeTooers, where they're just going to keep on doing it over and over to milk the system. And because there are no consequences, it's fine. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Because this is really upsetting. You know, I think that it's absolutely sick. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. Men are afraid that their wives will hashtag me to them. What do you guys think about this? It's a pretty crazy story, but I want to know what you guys think in the comments, so let's talk about them there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.